A Seattle air traffic controller stares at his radar, an unauthorized turboprop moving without clearance. He reaches for his radio. The voice that answers shouldn't exist. Just a broken guy got a few screws loose, I guess. Whoever's speaking isn't supposed to be in that cockpit, isn't supposed to know how to fly. And what unfolds next will expose a vulnerability so fundamental, so terrifying, that the entire aviation industry will try to bury it. Richard Russell spent 3.5 years moving giants. 29 years old, college degree. For less than the price of an airport sandwich per hour, he commanded machines worth hundreds of millions. Ground crew, the invisible army that makes aviation possible. Russell and thousands like him. They de-ice wings at dawn, load cargo in summer heat, guide jets through winter storms, always in reflective vests, never in passenger view. That summer evening, Russell drives his tow tractor to a remote corner of SeaTac, parks beside a Horizon Air Q400. The 76-seat turboprop sits dark, waiting for tomorrow's flights. He climbs aboard. Nothing unusual. Ground crews enter aircraft constantly, cleaning, checking, positioning. But Russell settles into the captain's seat. The auxiliary power unit whirs to life. No alarms, no security alerts. His badge grants total access. The system trusts him completely. What happens next takes 11 minutes. Russell exits, hooks his tractor to the plane, spins the entire aircraft toward the runway, unhooks, climbs back in as twin turboprops roar to full power. Controllers watch their screens in disbelief. An unauthorized aircraft rolling toward the active runway. Then it happens. Russell pushes the throttles forward. The Q400 accelerates, rotates, breaks free from Earth. A man who'd never flown anything was now commanding a commercial aircraft over one of America's busiest airspaces. Picture 63,000 pounds of aluminum and fuel inverting at 2,000 feet. A complete barrel roll. Passengers' seats facing heaven. Russell's voice calmly echoes over the radio in an almost playful manner. "Hey pilot guy, can this thing do a backflip?" Below, a fishing charter watches the turboprop plummet toward Puget Sound. 300 feet, 200, 90 feet above the waves, close enough to count whitecaps. Russell yanks back. The plane rockets skyward. Boat passengers collapse, certain they'd witnessed incoming death. And then the roar comes. From Portland, 2 F-15 Eagles tear into the sky, afterburners splitting the air with sonic cracks that rattle windows 20 miles away. Within minutes, they've closed the distance. Missiles armed, fingers brushing triggers, authorized to fire if Russell even hints towards Seattle. But he isn't aiming for the city. He's dancing, threading valleys no commercial plane belongs. Controllers plead, offer military bases, regional strips, empty highways. Russell laughs. "Those guys will rough me up if I try and land there." Then quieter. "I wasn't really planning on landing it." The words hang in radio static. Every pilot on frequency suddenly understands. This isn't hijacking. It's something worse. Who was Richard Russell? The investigation revealed crushing ordinariness. Alaska childhood, high school sweetheart, Bible verses on Facebook, a bakery that failed, dreams that didn't. But deeper investigation uncovered obsession. Hundreds of hours on flight simulators, not professional ones. The $30 versions anyone can download, teaching himself through repetition, crashing virtually thousands of times until he didn't. Russell had studied the Q400 systems for months. The auxiliary power sequence, engine starts, weight and balance, all available online, all perfectly legal. His blog painted someone drowning in plain sight, writing about feeling trapped, watching millionaires board planes he'd never afford, making minimum wage while handling maximum responsibility. Minimum wage, we'll chalk it up to that. He'd joke to controllers during his final flight. Here's what terrified investigators most. Russell hadn't exploited some sophisticated vulnerability. He'd used Google and determination. He wasn't just flying a stolen plane. He was exposing a question no one in aviation wanted to face. What if the enemy isn't outside the system, but inside it? Think about airport security, liquid limits, shoe removal, body scanners. Billions spent fighting the last war. Russell walked through no metal detectors that day, underwent no additional screening. His badge was his golden ticket. The irony cuts deep. After September 11th, cockpit doors became fortresses, reinforced steel, bulletproof. But those defenses assume threats come from outside. When someone's already in the cockpit, already knows procedures, those doors become meaningless. Russell exposed this with devastating simplicity. No conspiracy, no accomplices, just a depressed man with airport access and YouTube. Security experts admitted the truth in closed-door meetings. They couldn't stop another Russell without fundamentally breaking how airports operate. The trust that keeps aviation functioning is also its fatal weakness. Over an hour into his flight, Russell sees Ketron Island through the windscreen, 25 miles of water between him and Seattle, fuel for hours, military jets shadowing, waiting for any hostile turn. Controllers haven't given up. One suggests grass strips, another offers to talk him through landing. "I've got a lot of people that care about me," Russell says. "It's going to disappoint them to hear that I did this." The flight recorder captured what happened next. Complete control, multiple options. He could have attempted landing, ditched in water, circled until fuel exhaustion. Instead, he pushes the nose down. No recovery attempt, no last-second doubt. Full power into old-growth forest, the fireball visible from Seattle. Russell dies instantly, alone, having proved something the industry wished he hadn't. Within hours, Russell becomes Sky King online. They weren't celebrating, they were recognizing what he represented. The invisible worker who became visible, the nobody who did everything. Airlines scrambled, psychological screening, two-person rules, enhanced surveillance, bandages on a mortal wound because Russell hadn't just stolen a plane, he'd shattered the illusion that airports are secure, that the system works, that the people servicing your aircraft are somehow different. They're not. They're humans with breaking points. Given the right combination of access, knowledge, and desperation, any one of them could be the next Sky King. Richard Russell proved the greatest threat to aviation was never at the security checkpoint. It was already inside, wearing a reflective vest. What scares you more, the enemy outside or the one you trust? Comment below.